Just when I thought our story was complete, life had other plans. And this time, the stakes were even higher. 3 days after their vow renewal, Clara woke up in Marcus's arms in their hotel suite in Zanzibar. The morning sun filtered through white curtains, painting everything in soft gold. She traced the line of his jaw, still marveling that this was her life now. "You're staring," Marcus murmured, eyes still closed, a smile playing on his lips. "I'm appreciating," Clara corrected. "There's a difference." He opened his eyes, pulling her closer. "Appreciate away, Mrs. Okonkwo. You have the rest of our lives to stare at me. Don't tempt me. Your head is already big enough." Marcus laughed, that deep, rich sound that never failed to make her heart skip. "My head is perfectly proportioned, thank you very much." They were still bantering when Clara's phone rang. She groaned, reaching for it. "If that's your mother again asking about grandchildren." But it wasn't Marcus's mother. It was her own, and the panic in Grace's voice made Clara sit up straight. "Clara. Clara, thank God. You need to come home. Now." "Mama, what's wrong?" "We're on our honeymoon. It's Amara. She's in the hospital." Clara's blood ran cold. "What? What happened?" "She collapsed this morning. The doctors are running tests, but Clara, they're talking about, they think it might be serious. Please, I need both my daughters here." "I can't," her mother's voice broke. "I can't lose her." Marcus was already up, grabbing his phone, clearly making arrangements. Clara felt her hands shaking as she tried to process. "We're coming, Mama. We'll be on the next flight. Just tell Amara I love her. Tell her I'm coming." 20 hours later, Clara burst through the doors of Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Marcus right behind her. They found her family in the private waiting room, her mother crying quietly, her father staring at the wall with vacant eyes, and several relatives praying in hushed tones. "Mama!" Clara rushed to her mother's side. "What did the doctors say?" Grace clutched Clara's hands, her grip almost painful. "They're still running tests." "But Clara, they found something. A mass. They don't know yet if it's..." She couldn't say the word. "Cancer." They didn't know if it was cancer. Clara felt the world tilt. Marcus's hand on her shoulder steadied her. "Can I see her?" Clara asked. "She's sleeping now. The tests exhausted her. But she's been asking for you." Grace looked up at Marcus, her eyes red. "Thank you for bringing her home so quickly." "Family comes first," Marcus said simply. "Always." Clara sat in that waiting room for hours, Marcus never leaving her side. He brought her coffee she didn't drink, food she couldn't eat, and held her hand when the shaking got too bad. "I can't lose her," Clara whispered at some point in the endless night. "We just fixed things. We just became sisters again." "I can't." "Don't," Marcus said firmly. "Don't go there yet. We don't know anything for certain. And whatever it is, whatever comes, you don't face it alone. Amara doesn't face it alone. We're family now, and family fights together." When dawn broke, the doctor finally emerged. Dr. Adeyemi was a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and a steady demeanor that Clara immediately clung to. "Mrs. Nwosu, Mr. Nwosu," she addressed Clara's parents. "And you must be Amara's sister?" "Yes," Clara stood. "Is she? What did you find?" Dr. Adeyemi gestured for them to sit. "Amara has what we call a benign tumor on her ovary. It's large, which is why she's been experiencing symptoms, fatigue, occasional pain, the fainting. But the good news is that it's not cancer." The relief in the room was palpable. Grace started crying again, but this time with joy. Clara felt her knees go weak, and Marcus caught her, holding her steady. "However," Dr. Adeyemi continued, "we do need to remove it surgically. And there's a complication. The tumor has affected her ovary significantly. We may need to remove the ovary entirely, which would impact her fertility." The room went silent. "She's 25, Grace whispered. "She's so young." "I understand," Dr. Adeyemi said gently, "and we'll do everything we can to preserve her fertility. But I need you to understand that this is a possibility. Amara is awake now, and she needs to make this decision herself. She needs to understand the risks." "Can I see her?" Clara asked. "Please." Amara looked small in the hospital bed, surrounded by machines and tubes. But her eyes lit up when Clara walked in. "You came," Amara said, her voice weak. "You cut your honeymoon short." "Of course I came." Clara sat on the edge of the bed, taking her sister's hand. "You're my sister. Where else would I be?" Amara's eyes filled with tears. "They told you? About the surgery? About what I might lose?" "They told me." "Clara, what if I can't have children? What if this ruins everything?" I'm so young. I haven't even thought about babies yet, but what if I lose the choice? Amara's voice cracked. What if no one wants me after this? Clara felt her heart break. Amara, listen to me. You are so much more than your ability to have children. You are smart and funny and kind when you're not being a brat. That earned a watery laugh. And any man who doesn't want you because of this doesn't deserve you in the first place. Easy for you to say. You found Marcus. He loves you no matter what. I found Marcus by accident, Clara corrected. But you know what? Real love isn't about perfect circumstances or perfect bodies. It's about choosing someone when things get hard. Daniel didn't choose you that way. He chose you because you were young and exciting and uncomplicated. But you deserve someone who chooses you when life gets messy. Amara squeezed her hand. I'm scared. I know. I'm scared too. But you're going to get through this surgery, and you're going to be fine. And whatever happens with your fertility, we'll figure it out. There's adoption, surrogacy, or maybe you'll decide kids aren't for you at all. But right now, we focus on getting you healthy. Will you stay? Amara asked. During the surgery? I don't want to wake up alone. I'm not going anywhere, Clara promised. Neither is Marcus. We're both here, and we're not leaving until you're back on your feet and annoying me again. Amara laughed through her tears. I love you, Clara. I love you too, you drama queen. Now get some rest. You have a surgery to rock tomorrow. The surgery took 6 hours. 6 endless, torturous hours where Clara paced the waiting room like a caged animal. Marcus tried to get her to sit, to rest, to breathe, but she couldn't. What if something goes wrong? Clara asked for the 100th time. What if? Clara. Marcus stood, blocking her pacing path. He took her face in his hands, forcing her to look at him. You need to breathe. Amara is strong. The doctors are excellent. And worrying yourself sick won't help anyone. I can't lose her, Marcus. I just got her back. You won't. I promise you, she's going to be fine. You can't promise that. No, he admitted. But I can promise that whatever happens, I'm here. I'm not leaving. When you fall, I'll catch you. When you break, I'll hold the pieces together until you can glue them back yourself. That's what marriage means, Clara. Not just the good days, but especially the hard ones. Clara fell into his arms, letting herself be held, letting herself be weak for just a moment. Around them, her family watched with soft expressions. Even her father, who'd been skeptical of Marcus at first, nodded approvingly. When Dr. Adeyemi finally emerged, everyone rushed forward. Clara's heart was in her throat. The surgery was successful, the doctor said, and Clara nearly collapsed with relief. We were able to remove the tumor. Unfortunately, the ovary was too damaged. We had to remove it. But Amara still has one healthy ovary, which means she can still conceive naturally. It may be more difficult, but it's absolutely possible. And she's okay? Grace asked. She's really okay? She's in recovery now. She'll be groggy for a while, but yes, she's going to be just fine. She'll need rest and follow-up care, but she should make a full recovery. The relief in that waiting room was overwhelming. Clara found herself crying again, but this time Marcus was crying too, holding her tight. See, he whispered against her hair. I told you she'd be okay. You were just as scared as I was. Terrified, he admitted. But I had faith. In her, in the doctors, in us. That's what gets us through the hard parts. Amara spent a week in the hospital, and Clara visited every single day. Marcus came too, bringing books and magazines and terrible jokes that made Amara laugh even when it hurt. You really got lucky with him, Amara said one afternoon while Clara was helping her walk the hospital corridor. He's one of the good ones. I know, Clara said softly. I really do. Clara, can I ask you something? Of course. Amara stopped walking, leaning against the wall. Do you think I'll ever find what you have? Someone who shows up like Marcus does? Someone who stays when things get hard. Clara thought about her journey. The pain of Daniel's betrayal, the reckless decision to hire an escort, the unexpected love that bloomed from chaos. I think when you stop looking for it, that's when it finds you. I wasn't trying to fall in love with Marcus. I was just trying to survive a wedding. But somehow, in my mess, I found my miracle. That's poetic. That's life. Messy and unexpected, and somehow beautiful anyway. The door to Amara's room opened, and a young doctor walked in. Not Dr. Adeyemi, but someone new. He was tall, dark-skinned, with gentle eyes and an easy smile. Miss Nwosu, I'm Dr. Chukwu. I'll be handling your follow-up care since Dr. Adeyemi is going on leave. He glanced at Clara. And you're the sister I've heard so much about? That's me, Clara said. The overprotective one. Dr. Chukwu laughed. Overprotective is good. It means she has people who care. He turned to Amara, his expression professional but warm. How are you feeling today? Any pain? As he examined Amara, Clara noticed something. The way her sister's eyes followed him, the slight flush on her cheeks, the way she suddenly seemed more alert. Interesting. After Dr. Chukwu left, Clara raised an eyebrow at her sister. Well. Don't, Amara warned, but she was blushing. He's cute. He's my doctor. He won't be forever. Eventually, you'll be discharged, and then he'll just be a handsome man who saw you at your worst and still smiled. Amara threw a pillow at her. You're impossible. I'm in love. It makes me want everyone else to be in love too. Clara laughed. But seriously, Amara, take your time. Heal first physically and emotionally. And then, when you're ready, maybe life will surprise you the way it surprised me. When Amara was finally discharged, Clara and Marcus insisted she stay with them while she recovered. Their apartment in Ikoyi, Marcus's place that Clara had officially moved into after the vow renewal, was spacious enough for three. You don't have to do this, Amara protested as Marcus carried her bags inside. I can stay with Mama and Papa. And deal with Mama's constant fussing and Papa's worried stares? Clara shook her head. No way. You're staying here where I can monitor you and Marcus can cook for you. You cook? Amara asked Marcus. Better than your sister, Marcus said, winking at Clara. She once burned water. It was one time and the pot was faulty. Watching them banter, Amara felt something warm settle in her chest. This was what family looked like. Not perfect, not without history, but real and present and loving. That night, after Amara had gone to bed in the guest room, Clara stood on their balcony overlooking the Lagos skyline. Marcus joined her, wrapping his arms around her from behind. You're thinking loudly, he murmured against her neck. I'm thinking about how much life has changed in 6 months. How I went from heartbroken and alone to this. She leaned back against him. How I hired a stranger and ended up with a husband, a healed relationship with my sister, and a life I didn't know I could have. Do you regret it? The unconventional way we started. Clara turned in his arms to face him. Not for a single second. Yes, it was crazy. Yes, we did everything backwards. But Marcus, if I had to do it all again, I wouldn't change a thing. Because every weird, unexpected step led me to you. I love you, Marcus said, kissing her softly. My unexpected wife. I love you too, Clara whispered. My unexpected everything. From inside, they heard Amara call out. Can you two stop being disgustingly cute? I'm trying to heal here. They laughed, heading back inside, and Clara thought about how strange and wonderful life could be. How the worst day of your life could lead to the best. How hiring someone to fake love could lead to the realest love she'd ever known. 3 weeks later, Clara was at work when her phone buzzed with a message from Marcus. Marcus, come home. Now. It's important. Clara, is Amara okay? Marcus, everyone's fine. Just trust me. Come home. Clara's heart raced as she made excuses to her boss and rushed out. When she burst through their apartment door, she found Marcus sitting at the dining table with papers spread out in front of him. His expression was serious, unreadable. What's wrong? Clara demanded. You scared me. Sit down, Marcus said quietly. Marcus, you're freaking me out. What is this? Clara, please. Just sit. She did, her mind racing through worst-case scenarios. Was he sick? Was there a problem with the business? Was their marriage in trouble? Marcus pushed an envelope across the table. It was addressed to him, with an official-looking seal. Open it, he said. With shaking hands, Clara opened the envelope. Inside was a letter, and as she read, her confusion grew. Dear Mr. Okonkwo, we are writing to inform you that the profile you created with Elite Companions Agency 6 months ago has been flagged due to an outstanding balance. Our records show that Ms. Clara Nwosu hired your services for 1 day, paying the agency fee of 500,000 naira. However, the standard contractor payment of 300,000 naira was never processed to you. Additionally, we note that you never collected payment for any of your bookings through our agency. We have attempted to contact you multiple times regarding these outstanding payments totaling 2.4 million naira. Please contact us at your earliest convenience to resolve this matter. Clara looked up at Marcus, stunned. You never took any money? Not from me, not from anyone. Marcus leaned back, a small smile playing on his lips. I told you I was doing research. I wasn't actually working as an escort. I didn't need the money. But the agency, they paid you? They tried. I never collected it. I had them donate it to charity instead. Every naira. He reached across the table, taking her hand. Clara, I need you to understand something. From the moment I met you, this was never about money. It was never about research. It was about you. But you said. I said a lot of things to protect myself. Because falling for you that fast, that hard, it terrified me. It went against every logical thought in my head. But logic doesn't apply to love, does it? Clara felt tears streaming down her face. You really never took any money? Not a kobo. And Clara? He pulled out another paper. The check he'd tried to give her that first morning, the one for 10 million naira. It was still uncashed. This has been sitting in my desk drawer for 6 months. I knew you'd never cash it. Because you're not that kind of person. You don't want my money. You never did. I wanted you, Clara whispered. Just you. Marcus stood, pulling her to her feet and into his arms. You have me. You've had me since the moment you argued with me about jollof rice rankings. You've had me since you trusted me to walk into that wedding with you. You've had me since you looked at me like I was more than my bank account. I love you so much it scares me sometimes, Clara admitted against his chest. Good. Because I love you so much that I walked away from logic and dove headfirst into crazy. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. They stood there, holding each other, and Clara thought about the journey that brought them here. Every unexpected turn, every moment of doubt, every leap of faith, it had all been worth it. So what do we do with the letter? Clara asked finally. Marcus grinned. I already called them. Told them to donate all of it to charity. Organizations that help young women in difficult situations. Because maybe somewhere, there's another woman having the worst day of her life. And maybe, just maybe, something good can come from her pain too. Clara pulled back to look at him, this man who continued to surprise her. Have I mentioned that I love you? Not in the last 5 minutes. I was starting to get concerned. She laughed, kissing him. I love you, Marcus Okonkwo. My accidental husband. My purposeful choice. My forever. I love you too, Clara Okonkwo. My hired date. My unexpected wife. My always. From the hallway, they heard Amara's voice. Are you two being disgustingly romantic again? Because I'm trying to watch TV out here. How's she doing? Marcus asked quietly. Better every day. And I think Dr. Chukwu might have something to do with that. He's been texting her to check on her recovery. Clara made air quotes, grinning. Should we meddle? Absolutely not. We're going to let life do its thing. Just like it did for us. Marcus laughed. Since when are you the wise one? Since I married a man I met less than 24 hours before. That kind of insanity teaches you things. They walked back to the living room where Amara was indeed watching TV, looking healthier and happier than she had in weeks. She glanced up at them, rolled her eyes at their joined hands, but smiled anyway. You know what I realized? Amara said suddenly. That wedding, my wedding to Daniel, it wasn't the end of your story, Clara. It was the beginning. If I hadn't married him, you never would have hired Marcus. You never would have found this. Clara sat beside her sister, taking her hand. Everything happens for a reason, even the painful things. Even the mistakes. Was I a mistake? Amara asked quietly. Never. You're my sister. And yes, what happened with Daniel hurt. But it led me here. To Marcus. To this life. To finding my way back to you. Clara squeezed her hand. So no, you weren't a mistake. You were part of my journey. And I'm grateful for all of it. Amara's eyes filled with tears. Even when I was terrible to you? Even then. Because it taught me about forgiveness. About second chances. About how love, real love, survives the hard stuff. Marcus watched the sisters, and his heart felt full. These women, this family, this life, this was what he'd been searching for without knowing it. Not research for a book, but a story to live. A love to fight for. A home to build. His phone buzzed, and he glanced down to see a message from his publisher. Publisher, how's the book coming? Do you have enough material yet? Marcus looked at Clara and Amara laughing together, at the life he'd built in 6 unexpected months, and he typed his response. Marcus, the book is done. It's not what I expected to write, but it's the story I needed to tell. I'll send it to you next week. Because he'd started this journey wanting to understand other people's stories. But what he'd found was his own. A story about unexpected love, about second chances, about how the worst day of your life could lead to the best. About how sometimes you had to let go of logic and leap into faith. And most importantly, a story about how love, real, messy, unconventional love, was worth every risk. Clara stood in the kitchen of their home, making breakfast. Well, attempting to make breakfast. The eggs were slightly burnt, and she definitely added too much salt, but she was determined. "What are you doing?" Marcus appeared in the doorway, hair rumpled from sleep, wearing nothing but pajama pants. "Making you breakfast. It's our anniversary." "Our official anniversary, or our accidental drunk marriage anniversary?" "Both. They're the same day, remember? 1 year ago today, we made the craziest decision of our lives. Twice." Marcus moved behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist and resting his chin on her shoulder. "Best decision I ever made. Even if I was drunk." "You weren't that drunk." "No," he admitted. "I wasn't. I knew exactly what I was doing. I was choosing you." Clara turned in his arms, looking up at him. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if I hadn't hired you that day? If I'd chosen someone else from the agency?" "Every day," Marcus said honestly. "And every day I'm grateful that fate, or destiny, or pure dumb luck brought you to me. Because Clara, you changed my life. You made me believe in love at first sight, in second chances, in the kind of romance that people write books about." "Speaking of books," Clara grinned. "I have something for you." She reached behind her and pulled out a hardcover book with a beautiful cover. The title read, Unexpected, a Love Story by Marcus Okonkwo. It came. Marcus took the book reverently. "I wanted to surprise you with it, but your publisher sent me an advance copy." "Marcus, I read it. I read the whole thing in one night, crying and laughing and falling in love with you all over again." Marcus looked nervous. "Did I get our story right?" "You got it perfect. The way you described meeting me, the wedding, the way you fell in love, it's all there. But you changed something. You made it fiction." "Why?" "Because our story is ours," Marcus said simply. "This version, the fictionalized one, that's for everyone else. But the real story, the true one, with all its messy details and private moments, that's just for us." Clara felt tears prick her eyes. "I love you. Have I mentioned that today?" "Not yet. It's only 7 a.m. You're slacking." They were laughing when the doorbell rang. Marcus went to answer it, and Clara heard familiar voices, her family, his family friends. She'd forgotten they'd planned a surprise anniversary brunch. The house filled with people and noise and love. Amara was there, glowing and holding hands with Dr. Chukwu. Now just Chukwu, since they'd been dating for 6 months and things were serious. Clara's mother fussed over the food, insisting on helping. Marcus's father cornered him with business talk, but both men were smiling. At one point, Clara found herself on the balcony with a glass of champagne, watching the chaos inside through the window. Amara joined her. "Happy anniversary," Amara said. "To the craziest love story I've ever witnessed." "Thank you. And speaking of love stories," Clara nudged her sister. "Things seem serious with Chukwu." Amara blushed. "Maybe. He's different from Daniel. He's patient and kind, and he doesn't try to rush me. He knows about the surgery, about my fertility concerns, and he says it doesn't matter. That he's choosing me, not my ability to give him children. Sounds like he's a keeper. Sounds like he learned from the best example." Amara looked at Clara seriously. "You and Marcus, you showed me what love should look like. And I'm not settling for anything less ever again." "Good. You deserve the kind of love that chooses you on purpose." They stood there, sisters again, friends again, watching their families mingle inside. Daniel was a distant memory now, barely a footnote in their stories. Because that's what healing looked like, not forgetting the pain, but making it smaller by building something bigger around it. Marcus appeared at Clara's side, sliding his arm around her waist. "There you are. They're about to toast. You can't miss your own anniversary toast." Inside, Clara's father cleared his throat, raising his glass. 1 year ago, my daughter made what I thought was an impulsive, crazy decision. She brought home a man we'd never met, married him in what we thought was a drunken mistake. Everyone laughed. But what I've learned this year is that sometimes the heart knows what the head can't understand. Sometimes love doesn't follow the rules. And sometimes the craziest decisions lead to the most beautiful lives. He looked at Clara and Marcus, his eyes wet. "Thank you, Marcus, for choosing my daughter, for seeing her worth, for building this beautiful life with her. And Clara, thank you for being brave enough to take a chance on love, even when it was terrifying. You two give us all hope that true love still exists." To Clara and Marcus, everyone chorused, raising their glasses. Clara felt Marcus's hand tighten on hers. She looked up at him, this man who'd walked into her life as a hired stranger and become her everything. "I'd do it all again," she whispered. "Every crazy moment. Even the drunk marriage? Especially the drunk marriage. It's our thing. We'll tell our grandchildren about it." "Grandchildren?" Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Mrs. Okonkwo, are you trying to tell me something?" Clara laughed. "Not yet. But someday. When we're ready. When it's time for the next chapter of our unexpected story." "I can't wait," Marcus murmured, kissing her softly. "For every chapter. Every page. Every unexpected turn. As long as I'm with you." Around them, their families celebrated, but Clara and Marcus only had eyes for each other. Because this love, this life, this beautiful, messy, unconventional story, this was what fairy tales were made of. Not perfect circumstances. Not traditional paths. But real love. Chosen love. Unexpected love that became forever love. And that, Clara thought as Marcus spun her around the living room while their families clapped and cheered, was the best kind of story there was. Clara sat in the hospital bed, exhausted but glowing, holding a tiny bundle wrapped in pink. Marcus stood beside her, looking at their daughter with such awe and love that Clara felt her heart might burst. "She's perfect," Marcus whispered. "Absolutely perfect. She has your eyes," Clara said softly. "She has your stubbornness. She made us wait 2 weeks past her due date. That's not stubbornness. That's knowing how to make an entrance." Clara looked down at their daughter, Hope Amara Okonkwo, and felt overwhelmed with love. "Hi, baby girl. We've been waiting for you." The door opened and Amara peeked in, followed by Chukwu, now her husband of 2 years. "Can we meet our niece?" "Come in," Clara said. "Come meet Hope." Amara approached carefully, her own baby bump visible under her dress. She was 6 months pregnant, expecting a boy, and the doctors had said it was a miracle given her medical history. But miracles, Clara had learned, happen more often than people thought. "She's beautiful," Amara breathed, touching Hope's tiny hand. "Welcome to the family, little one. You have no idea how many people love you already." "Her origin story is going to be legendary," Chukwu said, grinning at Marcus. "Uncle Marcus hired as an escort, accidentally married Aunt Clara, and here we are." "We prefer unconventionally met," Marcus corrected, but he was smiling. "Whatever you call it, it worked." Amara looked at her sister. "Look at us. 5 years ago, I was marrying the wrong man. You were broken-hearted. And now look at us. Now we're exactly where we're supposed to be," Clara said firmly. "With the people we're supposed to be with. Building the lives we're supposed to live." Later, after everyone had left and it was just Clara, Marcus, and baby Hope in the quiet hospital room, Marcus sat on the edge of the bed, his hand on Clara's. "Do you remember what I said to you that first morning?" he asked. "When you woke up and panicked? You called me Mrs. Okonkwo and refused to let me leave. I told you that I was choosing you, that I would choose you every day for the rest of my life. You did. And you have." Clara smiled. "Every single day, Marcus. You've chosen me. And I'll keep choosing you. When things are easy and when they're hard. When we're young parents fumbling through middle-of-the-night feedings. And when we're old and gray telling our grandchildren about how we met. I'll choose you then too." "That's good," Clara said, her eyes drooping with exhaustion. "Because I'm choosing you right back. Forever." As Clara drifted off to sleep, Hope nestled in her arms and Marcus watching over them both, she thought about the journey that brought them here. From that desperate decision to hire an escort, to waking up married, to building a life neither of them had planned but both of them cherished. She'd hired him for one night. He'd kept her for a lifetime. And their unexpected love story had become the greatest adventure either of them could have imagined. The end. Love isn't about perfect beginnings. It's about choosing each other, every day, through every unexpected turn. Because the best stories are the ones we never saw coming. Thank you for watching Clara and Marcus's story. If this touched your heart, like this video, subscribe for more emotional love stories, and comment below. What's the most unexpected thing that ever led to something beautiful in your life? Remember, sometimes the craziest decisions lead to the most beautiful destinations. Choose love. Choose bravery. Choose your own unexpected forever. See you in the next story. Kisses.